What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good in the hood? To all those who have donated to the page, I am here. Your boy Carcino is here. We finally made it. This is what you wanted. This is the video you wanted. This is the live stream you guys have asked me for. So now we are here to provide it to you. So hit the like button coming in. Hit the like button coming in. That's what time it is. The Wu-Tang saga continues. Once again. Y'all been waiting to talk about this series, and we always got distracted or some breaking news would happen, and we never got a chance to do the Wu-Tang saga. And it'd be so unfortunate because I'm always ready to talk about it. So now we finally got here. People have donated to the page. Finally, you guys have gotten it. That the more you donate, the more we go live. That's how it works. If I'm going to give you my time, I have to be rewarded for that time. So, everyone asks me, is this show real? Is the Wu-Tang saga real? Let me see what time it is. Okay, we good. Is the Wu-Tang saga real? And don't forget, you can always hit up the donation by hitting up the Streamlab. Even while we're here, that's my super chat. Or you can hit up my Cash App, which is Carcino. For the new people that just got here. Everybody else already know. Now, we finna get into all of this. Now, how real is this show? The show is real to a degree. It's historical fiction. Best word to put, historical fiction. And the reason why it's historical fiction is because it's true and not true. A lot of these things did happen, but not in the way and tone that you might have seen. Did Bobby shoot a tiller? Whole different type of situation. It's hard to talk about historical fiction and it's distorted. The truth has been distorted for your viewing pleasure. Okay? The Just Ice situation happened, but it was more King's Son, Just Ice, and Old Dirty Bastard actually knew. He knows his literature. So it's like I've already explained that. But we'll get to the whole gist of everything. The way the saga started off, like, it's based on the reality of some truth. Where Ghost ran with his brother, with RZA's brother. They were side by side hustling. Now, Devon came up, and Devon was huge. Like, he was really in the mix. Him and a couple of his cousins that you don't see on the show. He got other family that's in New York. And those cousins, those people were doing things. Now, as far as the television series, they got it. It's just Divine and Power. How these two were friends, then they split up. And it was never really like that in real life. But similar. Good for the storyline. Now, Raekwon going to shoot up Ghost's crib. Now, that part is everybody talks about that part. So we finna get to that gist right now. From what I heard, It was not Raekwon that did that. But Ray was part of the clique that was at war with Ghost in them at the time. They didn't vibe well. So they always had problems. So his house got shot up, but it was never really Ray was the actual shooter that did it. From what I've been told, it wasn't really Ray. It was another guy that was in the clique, and they were all shooting and stuff. Exactly. So the way it was played out, Stapleton and the Killer Hill projects, what they call what Cherry Hill or whatever, Killer Hill. That's why they always made that they outlook. All of it is on a very small area. They all from Staten Island, which is the smallest borough. And these two are fighting each other because they the two biggest areas over there. And they always one side hate the other side. And they both don't really have nothing. But if you come from Park Hill, where everybody called Cherry Hill or Killer Hill, if you come from over there, you basically come from the slums. Like that's like slumming it. If you was in Stapleton, you was still slumming it, but a little bit better than what they had it in over there in Killer Hill. Like Killer Hill was just like forget about it. Ghost is from Stapleton. They have everybody's location is right. They have everyone location exactly the way it's set up to be. What you haven't been introduced to is you God. And that might be because Riz is probably just like, I'm through with you God right now. I just don't I can just keep him out. Because you God was too busy going back and forth to jail and doing stupid stuff at the time. But Capadon is the guy that really got him like going into the rap game. He's the beatbox guy. Meth was rhyming, busting all these rhymes, and that lady that lift up her window to start talking to them and tell them, "Hey, turn that music down." That was the lady and they was trying to honor her, but that was the lady that I always told Method Man he was gonna be a star. That lady who's downstairs sewing and all that, and her husband was into jazz because Meth used to sing and do all these melodies, and she used to make him sing when he was a youngster. She'd be raising up her window, talking to him. That was the old lady, but she was more like in real life. She was more like the drunk lady. She'd have a drink and play her music and stuff, and would love to hear Meth rhyme and be like, "You gonna be a star, baby." And she used to always say that. That never happened in real life. In real life, that's all dramatized. The person that got choked out in real life was Case. That's why he said, "This is why I'm gonna do it for my guy Case, because that's my people. I'm giving you injection that'll be lethal." That was Case. That character was playing the role of Case. And Case didn't get choked out there, but it didn't happen like that. He was coming out of a building. It was a whole different situation, but similar because it was a police officer like that killed him like right in the front. It wasn't because of some old lady thing. Like I said, historical fiction for the television. I didn't see Drink Champs, so well, they got the thing is you don't want to make this whole thing about Old Dirty because if you do that, then you taken away from the rest of the story. Um, this is really RZA's story. So you seeing the growth and how a lot of things went by. You start seeing how everybody was all in one area. Like you see Easy Mo B and how they had the SP 1200. That everybody had to have it at that time. Like man, to do my loop timing. So if you're a producer and you're watching this show, you could pick up on a lot. There's a lot of different things that was moving fast in the show. And you get to learn about RZA's relationship, his sister's relationship with Ghost, and how they was like almost family. So it felt natural for them two to hook up, and nobody knew about it. That was weird. RZA knew. In real life, RZA knew. He didn't give a damn, but he knew. RZA cared about his music, and that was the main gist of everything. Is that he focused mainly on the music. And don't forget to hit the like button, people. You guys fell asleep after a while with the like button. I understand you guys are caught into the story, and that's cool. And I love it that you guys are all here and that you got your notifications and everything else. But yes, hit the like button, please. It does matter so that they know you guys are real people and not bots. You know, like they say, it's free to hit the like button. It's free. It costs you nothing. Oh, what's up, sincerely yours? Thanks for the Cash App donation. Sincerely yours, hit up the Cash App. Sending us that Larry love. Man, in actuality though, the way I look at it, it's the show took a lot of different turns. It took a turn where I've seen he said he's seen RZA Ghost and the ODB get booed off the stage at Kingsborough College in New York City. He said they should have put that in there. I mean, I'm quite sure when you're introducing something new to the world, people not willing to accept it. Some people are just not willing to accept it when you're doing something new and you're changing the game a lot. And when you keep changing the game and you're changing the terms and you're changing the way people view things, it could change people's minds and the attitudes and the way they view things. So I was always interested in how people went about processing certain things. Like, how do they process this idea? How do they process that idea? Where did this come from? Where did they get the idea for that? That's very creative. And here, what people missed out, that the right characters and the right actors, people like, man, he don't even look like, dude, if you start watching the show, these guys start to remind you of these people. Like David East, he reminded me of Method Man. He reminded me of Meth. And you look at the guy that played Raekwon. He was, man, people like, he don't look like Ray. He looks like a younger Raekwon. Before Raekwon, we only remember Raekwon when he was like 250. Raekwon used to look just like that. And he was talking like him. He had the whole thing down, man. And the actor that played Ghost, he reminded me of Ghost. Sadiq Sanderson. And Joey Badass is playing Deck. Shamik Moore playing Raekwon. Corey. TJ Adams playing ODB. And Jonell Young, he did a great job when they started introducing the GZA into the play. When they brought him into play, that changed a lot of narratives because he was the foundation to center RZA whenever RZA was getting out of control, because Vaughn was never that. Divine was never that. And Ashton Sanders, who's playing RZA, people had me cracking up talking about that. They was like, wait a minute. They was like, "Am I losing my mind?" They was like, "How is this person darker than the dark? How the RZA is darker than He's like, how the RZA darker than what he was saying, how he was darker than somebody in the clan." They was like, man, I think they gotta recast that. They got the RZA like he mad darker than he's darker than the Jizza. How that happen? But it was key for him to play this role because you need somebody who's very talented. No, no, they got somebody perfect for Bobby because he can act. He has the weight of the show. He has to go through the different emotions, and you need a skilled actor for that. And nobody, he's the one that don't look the most like the RZA out of anybody. I mean, the little brother looked like that's the RZA. Whoever he is, I bet you his last name is is Jones or something. He related to them. The little brother that's on the show, I don't know his name, but he is definitely part of the RZA pack and family. That looks just like them. So whoever he is, he's related. I can tell you that right now. Yeah, he's gonna grow up to be the ninth prince. I mean, I don't know how far they're gonna go with the show, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see that down the line because the it Wu Tang only gets better as it. This is just them meeting and how they're coming to be. Once they become Wu Tang and everything, things get way more crazier, way more crazy. Now, when the show started, this situation about the RZA mother was working for this mob related restaurant and all of these things, that was true. That was true. That wasn't just fiction. She worked in a place where the mob was, they were basically mob connected, but she was a good server at the restaurant. So her working there, that's why she didn't really deal in such things. And there was an incident where a family member did some stuff with them and they were like, look, y'all gonna have to get it back. But it didn't go down quite the way they made it appear there. But it didn't get as brutally violent as that. I know that racist song really hit hard, but that it didn't go down like that. Um, they were naturally just some racist people and some unsavory people that hung out there. But they mom and the way they were raised, all the people, all that was real. Like they went to stay down there in North Carolina, and that's when like they was put on the hustling and everything else, and being the auntie was like a disciplinarian and standing on them kids, making them sell cigarettes and working in the field. So they had to work to stay there. It was no joke. But Divine, man, he was hustler. He was a born hustler, man. He was, if he got to get in the game, grime here and grime there. He knew how to save a dollar. He was somebody that was on point all the time. And the way they got Divine, see, the thing is that this was show started made mostly about Divine and what he was doing and how he was moving and how he was strategic, but things got messed up. He got caught up in a situation where they in the show they made it look like the RZA was supposed to do something. Him and Ghost, and they were the reason why it went left. They ended up getting busted. Period. And Divine went down. Had nothing to do with that. Ghost was busy. The RZA wasn't doing his job and all that. RZA was never really into the dope game that heavy. He was in it, but he wasn't in it that heavy. He was doing bro as much as he's doing because music is what he wanted to do full time. So that was his whole survival, his life, his core. And the sister, she became like the mom. The mom was like bringing her along, and she never really had a childhood. Her childhood was basically taking care of the family. She'd cook for the brother, she'd do the cleaning while the mom go to work. And that's how it used to be in most black households. You already know the sisters, y'all at 13, 12, whatever, y'all was helping mom cook, you was helping mom clean. So when you got 18, 17, 18 years old, you can go ahead and start having your family together. You can get your family together now. So that's why most people was married at like 17 and 18 when they was like in the 70s. And they were able to can take care of a family because they can cook, they could wash, they could sew. They knew things, they knew life skills. They didn't even know how to garden. The guy who got hit for doing the Jamaicans, robbing a Jamaican guy, that's true to a degree. I mean, he was wanted for doing a whole bunch of stuff. He was a guy from the area, from Stapleton, who was getting money. He was getting money from everywhere. He was a little hustler dude, but he was always funny. He had jokes, used to make people laugh. He used to do songs, but he was a hustler and had money and stuff. But he did his little stick up gang, and over a chick, he did something stupid, and then it ended up costing him. That was a real guy, it was a real dude who lost his life, always had the fly stuff, and he was doing it. He was more like Crisscross back in the day. When Crisscross was bombing, doing their thing, he was doing his thing. And he was just hustling and getting all his. So when they had the clothes to the back, he had the other stuff. He had when Chris Cross was coming out doing their thing, he doing his own thing, and he had the colorful everything. So they named that character after another real guy. I can't remember that guy's name, but yeah, he did something crazy, and it said the Jamaicans who took care of him, that's known as Chrissy. These people name wasn't Chrissy, but I don't even think they were all Haitian. In real life, I think they were more. Think they were more Haitian than Jamaican. I'm gonna say that. We ain't saying no names. I'm just saying the real dudes, they were more Haitian than I think Jamaican. All right, Guyanese. You know what I'm saying? So, and these guys were serious people, and this is some of the people Eric B was associated with. And that's how you saw Eric B and Rakim end up coming out there and doing the show and everything else. And this is part of the reasons why a lot of the rappers didn't want to have themselves attached to Eric B and Rakim. And Eric B, Rakim, they loved as an artist, but they didn't want to bring that crowd that they had around. So a lot of people would exclude them from a lot of different things that they were doing. So that's when Rakim, when you heard him on like the Breakfast Club, like, yo, I felt a certain way, like Daddy O, Stetson Sonic, and all of them. They didn't, the word was out. Like everybody knew, like, dude, you hang around with a bunch of unsavory people, word's gonna get around that this maybe isn't a good idea, you know? So, when it first, Raekwon, that's a real story. Raekwon was basically homeless at one point. It's not like he chose to be. His parents had a house. He chose to be on the streets, and they weren't going to allow that in the house. See, just because people are poor don't mean that they lose their values. And everybody who's poor, yeah, everybody act like their families all messed up. No, they poor because their families were poor. Their conditions. that they were living in were poor. So it put them in this environment. They didn't choose or select to be poor. And we just, oh, we poor, so we just gonna be just, we don't care what you do because we poor. Wasn't like that. They had values. Even though the RZA knew, the mom knew what Divine was doing to help take care of the family, she didn't like it, but she was okay with the fact that Divine, she trusted Vine knew what he's doing. Vine's not gonna get in trouble. Vine knows what he's doing. He's taking care of the family. Just everybody go to school, do their thing. Vine's doing what he got to do to provide and help take care of the family. I'm working. Mom wasn't somewhere living lavish. Mom was busting her butt at a job while Vine was help paying the bills. Rent's paid, lights paid, and all this is for the food, and everything was for them to go to school, get education, move forward, and go down that road. She knew, like, look, I can't sugarcoat nothing. Look, what y'all do is what y'all do. Y'all grown men. I wish for a better life for you guys, but this is what it is right now. Well, things have always went a different way for no apparent reason whatsoever, and it just didn't make any sense to any of us anymore. Capadonna was in there. I mean, they showed him in the scene where Kappa and Divine was in there at the same time and how they linked up. All that was fiction, as far as I know. All of that was fiction. That I mean, they were locked up, but I don't think they were there at the same time. And they might have been, but I don't know about them two being locked up together. I know You God, I think, was locked up one time with Kappa, and they knew him through Shotgun, Method Man, and Kappa, and everybody else, and they all knew from rapping, from doing the Buck 50. But Divine knowing Kappa and all that stuff, I don't think so. Well, this is the thing that's called historical fiction. Perfect name for it. It's historical, but it has to be dramatized for television. You can't give the whole true story. If you tell a whole true story or something, it won't even hold the weight. You have to dramatize it out so people can understand it a little bit better. You'll say, okay, I know the mind state of what was going on in this process. No, there's certain scenes they try to speed along because they don't have a lot of episodes to get it done. In 10 episodes, they trying to speed everything along. So they wanted to harp in on when they got their deals, when they first went through the Tommy Boy precision and everything that went on there, and how Tommy Boy just was bad, period, and how they were spun to. You see how an artist can really go. You see how an artist can really go to another level that they don't want to go to. And I think they did a great job of explaining that in this series. They did a very good job of explaining that, how an artist can go with the flow because he just don't know the ins and outs of the game. And then they show you people like, man, this person gonna produce your album. This Prince Paul. You're like, man, I know Prince Paul, man. Like, no offense, but I want to produce my own album. A rapper producing his own album? Like, where does that ever happen? See? Because you guys didn't know that wasn't the norm. What RZA wanted to do wasn't the norm. Now, if a rapper produces his own album, that's okay. Ain't nothing, nothing to it. But back then, rappers weren't producing their own records and producing their own albums. So you were learning a lot about the music business and how they condition you to go along with things you didn't want to do, like the video. You see how they conditioned him to look, this is just a single, and Don't worry about it. You're gonna be fine. We're gonna push this to get some sales, and they sell you on it, and you represent it as that now. And now it's like, man, I'm represented as this now. When people think of me, they gonna think of, oh, I love you, Rakim. And the first version, the original version, is a lot better than the one they came out with. They made the video for. So when you hear the two versions, it don't even make sense of why they even came out with the other one. Right, sample clearances. But they didn't want to pay for the sample clearance. The sample could have got cleared. They didn't want to pay. Because believe me, somebody else used that same sample and it got cleared and there was no problem. Thanks, Mr. Blackman. I got your Cash App donation. I appreciate that. We don't know yet. We're all waiting to see what's going to happen for season 2. Everybody's really excited about it. And if you guys just got here, please hit the like button. And you can click the link in the description box to donate to the page. We appreciate that. I'll type my Cash App in here so you guys can know what it is. Because there are a bunch of new people in here. Yeah, so definitely I like the way they illustrated showing people the lives. A lot of people know Ghost, but a lot of people didn't know Ghost had two brothers that were handicapped. And his mom was, holding on as much as she could, but she would drink drunk all the time, and he had to be the man of the house. So he had to grow up fast. So he didn't have a choice. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people's situations. You see the Ray. Ray used to grow up in the church with his mom and everything. He started working, running with power and doing that. That's all real. All that's true. All of that's true. And then he was living up on the roof. Next thing you know, he's sitting up in the house, that his boy put him in, watching the things. All that's real. Power was that guy. The guy they got to play Power. Power is exactly like that. If you don't know who Power is, watch the movie Black and White, the one that had Mike Tyson in it. He put that movie together. Not RZA, not nobody. That's Power's movie. He's in the movie. And you know everything you need to know about Power from watching that film. Well, yeah, they didn't battle personally as much as they show on the television. They didn't deal with each other because Ray didn't like nobody from Killer Hill. I mean, Ghost, he didn't like nobody from over there. He ain't like none of them dudes. He put that song out after Meth dropped that Killer Hill track. He put out his song. Ghost was smashing that song. Ghost song was way harder. He was all about Stapleton and repping his place. He was definitely 100% didn't like anybody from Killer Hill. And Meth, his situation, how he went to he was staying with his uncle and auntie. That was true. He was on the lacrosse team, played lacrosse, and then he had to move back with his mom and stuff. His mom got a place over in Killer Hill, and he ended up going over there, and then everything went to straight hell. Park Hill, aka Cherry Hill, aka Killer Hill. Oh, you never saw the black and white movie? All you got to do is type Mike Tyson and Robert Downey Jr. It's all you got to type in on YouTube and watch that scene. And that's all you need to know about the movie Black and White. But they did a good job of getting the characters. You knew their situations from the saga. Hulu, if you could deal with the commercials, Hulu is just great for this point here. It show you where Meth could have been, because you always wondered, like, man, Meth was doing all this. Why Meth didn't get a record deal? You see what happened. It didn't go down exactly like that, but something very similar happened to why Meth didn't get a record deal. And Genius did, and RZA got a deal. Now, the Attila situation. Everybody's asking me, is the Attila situation, who is Attila? It was a guy like that, like Attila, who got out the joint and heard. It's because the video, even though RZA don't have an album coming out, the street don't know that. They see what they see on TV. They think you blowing up. They see your video on TV. Oh man, he getting all that money. Look at his video. They playing his video over and over again. They don't know he got dropped from the label. They not finna put his album out because the 2-hit single ain't pop. And now this ain't finna go. Like this artist that came out had the single, yeah, now that's what I like. And that's my babe. Yeah, now that's what I like. Jungle Fever better back up off me, cause I don't like no cream in my coffee. It's just my babe. Yeah, now that's what I like. They thought this was gonna be the biggest hit ever. They thought it was gonna be the biggest hit ever. I forgot that guy's name. I used to have the single, and I was like, man, this dude gonna blow. I heard the second single and said, this thing sucks. So it didn't blow. But when somebody's getting out of jail and they hear, yo, man, he got like 60, 80, probably $100,000. Boom. Somebody came in to rob the crib, breaking the house, a bunch of other stuff went down. The RZA ended up, because of a situation, hustling and all this. He was in Ohio where his mom was at. His mom that moved to Ohio with the stepdad, and they had the crib out there. He went out there to live. He went and lived and moved over there. And I think that's where the show is going now. But because he was into it with these dudes, or they broke in the crib, he was getting, he was serving and hustling at the time. After the whole album thing, he went back to hustling full time. So he was hustling and working. Then some incident happened where, that's all coming up later. Maybe, I'm quite sure the show is going to go that route. But him hitting Attila and all that, the way it went down, and nothing went down like that. The sister showing up on the scene right with Ghost to tell her she's having a baby. Nothing like that went down like that. Yeah, yeah. The RZA had to go through case. He was fighting a big case. This is in Ohio, man. So you gonna probably see that. I don't know how they gonna work it into the show, and I don't know how they gonna do it for the actual show. But when you know what really went down, or know how it really happened, and you kind of don't know how it's gonna happen on the show. So that's one thing to keeping it fresh. It's just like the Walking Dead series. You know, you read the Walking Dead comics, but it don't go necessarily go how the comic books go. The things you might see happen, might somebody else might end up doing. Capadonna the Great, because he's good at coming right off the dome and just spilling. Out of order tape recorder can't record my slaughter. I'll be like, man, Donna be coming hard. You know, if you want to run a buck 50, he the guy to run the buck 50 with. That's the buck 50 champ. Yeah, he taught Meth how to rap. Meth was rapping a little bit like LL Cool J. That was his whole thing. He's like, man, when I first started rapping, I was sounding like LL Cool J. So I was like, man, that sounds like Cool J. And Donna started teaching him how to rap, taught him You God. You God used to just beatbox all the time. And Raekwon used to have a group called the Dick 'em Down Boys. Yeah, and it was crazy. All they rhymes used to be like they was their own group. Devin Haney or Tank? I'm gonna go with Tank because Tank's more experienced. I don't think that fight's ever gonna happen though. Not at least not now. I think that fight's about 2, 3 years out. Why didn't Ghostface get rich off Iron Man? I mean, Ghost had a lot of money. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, that was Raekwon. He's part of that group. They ain't show them, and I thought they were gonna show them in the whole thing with RZA and all that. Because right now, that's what Ray's doing. He rapping with them dudes. We don't even know yet. We don't know where this show is gonna go. I mean, I'm hearing that a lot of people like it. Everybody's still talking about it, which is great, so that we can get more into it. You start to see that they push the old dirty bastard character a lot into the film. They didn't do, Ason unique. They he wasn't acting like Ason because Old Dirty is what people don't know. It was really deep with the knowledge of self. Him and the genius, they both knew the literature. And he used to be in a suit, bow tie, doing his Nation of Islam thing, like with one of the brothers, suit dressed up, knew his literature, Asan unique, and he was clean. Used to be clean. Then one day he just got out of that and he still knows stuff, but he was just old dirty bastard, and then just started acting weird and like doing drugs. But before that, clean cut, shirt and tie, he was ready. He was Asan unique. Yeah, he taught his wife how to, the to be proud of what she was. She was a queen. No one ever spoke to her like that before. Yeah, I heard that story. Locked her in the bathroom until she learned her literature on what her name really meant. He was serious. You got in on the show mainly because I think the RZA and him probably had some issues. But then again, in the beginning, you guy wasn't really that important anyway because he wasn't really around. You guy was over there doing different things. He wasn't really a part of anything at this point anyway. So he was just, I think they showed him. He could have been one of the guys that was standing in the hallway because he was just the beatbox guy. So that guy beatboxing that was on the show when Raekwon was rhyming and Meth was rhyming in the hallway, that could have been you God. No, what I mean was just that. You God wasn't really anything at that point. To them, he was more just a beatboxing guy. He wasn't really somebody hanging and running around with RZA. He went to school with Meth and Inspector Deck. And Ray was just in the streets. So I think you God is more interested in pushing his book than anything else. So long as he pushing that, I don't think he has anything to do with the show in itself. I'm quite sure they're gonna find a way to incorporate him into the project. It's just a matter of time. Well, people always put what they say I won't say fears, but they put their insecurities into everything that they do. If that make any sense to you. So when people are putting their insecurities on something, you're like, okay, I get it now. See, the point of the story is this: you just want the story to be accurate. And when you see that Ghost, because in real life, Ghost has about I think 2 kids with RZA's sister. I already knew that before the show started. So you start to see some people just learning this. They don't know. So this is all new to them. They was like, oh man, Ghostface sleeping with RZA's sister. There's they caught into this whole thing. Like, how old is Ghost and how old is she? She looks too young to be with Ghost. People are caught into the mesmerizedness of it, and they really blowing things like deeply out of proportion. So, oh yeah. Oh, when they do that, Nah, the songs is it was just the way it needed to be. Plus, you're gonna be going through copyrights and everything else. I think it's interesting. I'm caught into it. I love a hip hop show, but when Dirty get in there, when he become dirty, I think it's gonna be probably a little bit more once they become Wu-Tang, then that's when you start seeing more of the old dirty saga. So right now it's not about that. You're trying to get into they didn't smack me in the face with a bottle. They was on stage and threw a bottle. If that happens to pop up and I'm on the show getting cracked with the bottle, I'm coming for 300%, RZA. Y'all better cut my check. If that scene is in there, I'm coming in again. Like I want more money. Open up the case. What's up? UK in the house. Yes, don't forget, hit up the Cash App, donate to the page. We rocking out tonight, talking Wu-Tang Saga, the American Saga that's on Hulu. Did the fourth disciple ever get his money from Divine and RZA? I think they settled that. I don't think that was Ray. And the real story, it was just some people with power. You know, the Tar Heel dudes went and shot up the crib, shot at them Stapleton dudes. And I don't know if it was actually Ray that did it. You know, in the show they make it Ray that, so it is what it is. But it did happen. They were at beef. They sides didn't like each other. RZA was the only thing keeping a lot of that together because he was plugged everywhere through the music. He knew people. So he could go to Brooklyn, he can go to Harlem, and then everybody else, they don't want to go nowhere. They don't want to go nowhere they don't know. They stand in their areas. Yeah, he did stash a tech at RZA's house. But that was nothing. He done that before. He stashed stuff at RZA's crib all the time. Yo, hide this from me, son. That was his guy in school. They used to rap together, him, the genius. Ghost had a certain sound. RZA was what made RZA so good is that he knew the uniqueness of every character. He knew what beat to play for a certain person and said, this person needs this beat, or that person needs this track. That was one of his gifts. Oh, because they got Moss Brother. Next year or next season, I think it's gonna be even more interesting. So yes, I'm very intrigued to see what's gonna happen next season. 100%. Yeah, the thing about Ray and Ghost is that they flow real well together on a track. So when they did the album for Cuban Links for Raekwon's album, it was basically him and Ghost. Because they Can It Be, when they did the whole Can It Be, and everybody on Can It Be. The first one was Ray. So on the album, that's why a lot of people dispute Built for Cuban Links, because they was like, my buddy was like, I can't say that's one of the best Wu-Tang albums because Cuban Links, everybody on that album killed Raekwon. He got destroyed. Everybody who rapped on the album did better than him. He got a case. On a lot of the songs, everybody else had epic verses. Everybody had epic verses on there. Nas, Ghost, Inspector Dag. Dog, Ray was getting slaughtered all over that verse. Capadonna on Ice Cream. I'm like, man. I'm trying to figure out, did Raekwon have a verse that was better than anybody else's on any collaboration song he was on that album? And I can't find it ever. And I love that album. I mean, that album made me break up with my girl. I'm like, this album came out, and she's, I don't understand that. I can't deal with it. It's over. Play that again. Dum, 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 dum. You did not want to be in my circumference when that album was out. She basically was like, it's either me or that stupid Raekwon thing you're listening to over and over again. We're supposed to be spending time together, and you're not even cuddling me anymore. You're listening to this Raekwon and this whatever he's talking about, ninja stuff, and you gotta go. Yeah, you gotta go. Next thing you know, I got a knock on the door. Did you hear that song? You got it the whole album, right? Play it right now. Play that joint. My cousins, them coming in, she just blocked out. I don't even know she's still there. I'm like, you still here? I thought you left. Play that again. What's that, Erica Mena? I ain't never date no Erica Mena. Man, she couldn't win. She could not win. I just got it because I had the EP. And man, when the whole CD came out, I had it, man, we was blasting. It was August. I'm sitting there, I'm driving. We get to a red light. Another track come on. She was talking. Yeah, cuz I gotta go there at 3:30 tomorrow. Cause I've gotta go there and I gotta fill in for Phyllis. Phyllis ain't feeling well. Next thing you know, rainy days. From rainy days. Yo, what rainy days? Ah! She, what's wrong? I put the car in park, jumped out the car. Oh, God. You hear that beat? I gotta get up out of here. I gotta get you home. You cannot be around me. I heard rainy days. I put the car in park at the red light and jumped out. Oh God, you hear that beat? She's like, what are you? You're crazy. I'm like, I gotta take you home. Soon as it dropped, the first 4 words, On rainy days, I sit back and oh, park. I didn't care if I got hit by an oncoming car. I had to jump out the vehicle. She didn't understand all this. So she had to go. So I had to drive you away, Miss Malika. I'm sorry. It's Cuban Links. See, I still got the CD. She gone, but I still got Cuban Links. That goes nowhere. The flow phone like penmanship. So now talk anything what? My he is going insane. Insane. I was insane, baby. I was play it again. Play it again. Oh, of course she was an R&B person. You kidding? That was her thing there. She did not understand no Wu-Tang. She was, she ain't like that at all. She liked the Mary J. Blige Method Man song. She'd listen to that all doggone day, but she wasn't ready for on rainy days. Yo, on rainy days, I sit back. I ain't like to keep the blue raspberry was my girl there. Give me some blue raspberry all day. Man, I can't. Man, we played Glaciers of Ice about 6 million times. Yeah, 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 yeah. Man, are you kidding? I don't remember her at the Alchemist. I don't remember her at August. I remember being in the car, driving, my cousins, my buddies in the back. we bumping Raekwon, Glaciers of Ice. I'm down there at Dory and them at the Pleasure House. Double O and all them. We playing that Cuban Links, playing PlayStation. We had everything going, I think, at that time, man. We had all that going. Man, it was a crazy time. Dum, 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 dum. Dum, 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 dum. Man, you couldn't tell me nothing when that album came out. She was more into the Biggie, Mary J. That was Malika thing. She's bad boy. That's her vibe. Me, I had to have the grit. I love Biggie too, but the songs I like, you don't listen to. I gotta have some grit. Like One More Chance. I don't listen to the one More Chance that they play on the radio. I listen to the album version. When I'm fucking off Jen, I'm invincible. Don't love no old that's the principle. Cause didn't go, hey, let's just go. That's why I get my looking up the fucking door. You might be the one to set me up. Want to get the little brother to wet me up. I was like, yes. Just in case the little fucker ends up this pace. I don't give a chick enough to catch the bus. And once I see the steam and I'm leaving. My buddies had never heard the album version when One More Chance is out, and they wanted to hear it, and I knew I had them. I said, "Oh, you want to hear One More Chance?" That's my friend Shayna in the morning. We don't do that. Oh my God, because you messed with me last week. Man, I played that and blew their minds. I blew their minds. It's just that we never saw that much of Big. Big was so impressive that we never got a chance to see Big fall off. Unfortunately, we didn't have him long enough. So he went out on top. So that's why I don't put Big in as the greatest rapper of all time. I mean, lyrically, he was a monster. He impressed other rappers that was there. You know, he's a rapper's rapper. Like, dude, it's serious. So when other rappers say that, then you know it's something real. Like that dude is for real. Leave him alone. He was straight gutter. Yeah, man, I enjoyed this, man. I really did. Even though they probably ain't gonna monetize this video at all, I still enjoyed it. Enjoyed you guys too, man. I'm gonna get out of here. Carcino. Deuces. Don't forget, support the page, man. Hit the Cash App up or click the link in the box. Hit the Streamlab up so I can answer your emails there. You can leave me big, long paragraphs over there. So it works a lot better. All right.